Thank you, Madam President. This debate is an important opportunity for a holistic assessment of the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question. The Deputy Special Coordinator's briefing and the detailed statements in the chamber testify that the occupied Palestinian territory remains in dire straits. While the ceasefire and President Trump's comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict have provided an important opportunity to alleviate humanitarian suffering and advance a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, delays in full implementation of these efforts require our urgent attention. It is imperative to uphold the commitments reflected in the peace plan and Resolution 2803 that endorsed it. Failure to act now risks irreparably undermining the prospects for a just and lasting peace. Developments in the West Bank are a matter of grave concern. Continued settlement expansion, the establishment of new settlement outposts, and increased incidents of settler violence are altering the demographic and geographic character of the occupied Palestinian territory. In this context, the so-called Crimson Thread project, a planned 500-kilometer network of walls and military roads bisecting the Jordan Valley, also raises serious concerns, as these efforts to isolate Palestinian communities and sever the Jordan Valley from the rest of the West Bank will undermine the viability and territorial contiguity of a future Palestinian state. The foreign ministers of the group of 8 Arab and Islamic countries, including Pakistan, have also condemned in the strongest terms the Israeli escalation at Al-Aqsa Mosque Al-Haram Al-Sharif, particularly the continued mass incursions by settlers. They stress that these provocative actions constitute a flagrant violation of international law, the relevant UN resolutions, and the historical and legal status quo at the holy sites in the occupied East Jerusalem. Madam President, in Gaza, the humanitarian situation is extremely fragile. The ceasefire and the implementation of elements of the peace plan have yielded some improvements. However, 59% of the population still faces crisis-level food insecurity. And notably, since the ceasefire, over 1,100 Palestinians have been killed. And that calls into question the full and faithful implementation of the plan. Nearly 2 million people remain confined to just 30% of Gaza's territory and enduring catastrophic living conditions. There are also reports of a massive earthen barrier being constructed across Gaza, entrenching Israeli occupation and control over nearly 70% of the territory. Against this backdrop, the Security Council should act with unity and support the full implementation of the comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict and Security Council Resolution 2803. Demand an immediate halt to all settlement activities and reject any attempts at annexation, forced displacement, or alteration of the demographic and geographic character of the occupied Palestinian territory in accordance with relevant UNSC resolutions, including 2334. Ensure international protection for the Palestinian people, as also urged by President Abbas in his recent letter to the Council, and hold accountable those responsible for crimes and violations committed against civilians, and secure the immediate unconditional release of withheld Palestinian revenues to enable the Palestinian Authority to continue delivering essential public services. Madam President, the only credible path to a just and lasting peace is the establishment of an independent, sovereign, contiguous, and viable state of Palestine based on pre-1967 borders with Al-Quds Al-Sharif as its capital. In the broader context, Pakistan continues to follow with deep concern the recent developments that are further escalating regional tensions. Pakistan reiterates its strong support for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all brotherly countries in the region and urges all sides to exercise restraint, take immediate steps towards de-escalation, and uphold respective commitments under the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. On its part, Pakistan remains committed to providing all support towards achieving lasting peace and stability in the region through dialogue and diplomacy. In Lebanon, the full implementation of Resolution 1701 remains essential for achieving lasting peace and stability. Pakistan appreciates the diplomatic efforts led by the US to consolidate the cessation of hostilities and advance a durable peace in Lebanon. Pakistan also calls for full respect for Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and reaffirms its support for the government's efforts in this new phase. The 1974 Disengagement Agreement and Resolutions 338 and 497 must be fully respected. Israel must vacate its illegal occupation of all Arab territories. Pakistan supports a Yemeni-led and Yemeni-owned political process for comprehensive and lasting peace in Yemen. Pakistan condemns attacks against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and all attacks against commercial shipping which threaten global trade and regional security. Pakistan is deeply concerned over attempts to drag the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia into the conflict in the Middle East and reiterates its unwavering support for the security, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and prosperity of the brotherly kingdom. Madam President, lasting peace in the Middle East will remain elusive as long as occupation persists and the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people for self-determination remain unfulfilled. Pakistan continues to stand in unwavering solidarity with the Palestinian people and will support all genuine efforts aimed at achieving a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace based on relevant UN Security Council resolutions and international legitimacy. I thank you.